All right, in this mini lesson, we have division of fractions and whole numbers. And remember, division of fractions is opposite of multiplication of fractions in terms of what's actually happening. It's the undoing. And we teach you a phrase called keep, change, flip when we're doing algorithms. I'm going to write that off to the side. But I'm also going to show you with some visual models as well. So for my first example, I have 4 divided into halves. So you can think about it is you have 4 pizzas and you're going to divide each one into half. So if I do that, how many pieces do I have left over? I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 halves. All right. You could also use a number line and break it into halves going that way. So here I have a number line labeled from 0 to 4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bunny hop every half segment of my number line, and I will end up getting 8 bunny hops, just like I did in my cake circle slash model. So if I do my bunny hops, I have 1 to my halfway point, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 halves and 4 whole if you have a number line, or if you think about it as like a tape measure or a ruler, how many halves can you count on that ruler? Okay, so if I wanted to use the algorithm, what we do is we actually do what we call keep, change, flip, where we keep the dividend, we change the operation of multiplication, and we flip or take the reciprocal of the divisor. So we always have 4 whole. We had 4 whole circles, we had 4 whole on the number line. That never ever changed. So that's why we keep the dividend. So if we keep the 4, again, we have 4 wholes, so we put a 1 underneath it. We change the operation to multiplication, and then we take the reciprocal or we flip the divisor. So that becomes 2 over 1. So then we multiply like normal, and multiplying we found was very easy. We just multiplied straight across. So 4 times 2 is 8, and 1 times 1 is 1. So therefore, I got the same answer as I did in both of my models up above. All right, so for example 2, I just kept it with a number line, and I'm showing you what 2/3 would be on the number line. And if I want to take my 2/3 and I want to split it into 2 equal pieces, when I do that and I split it in half, I'm at the 1/3 mark. Okay, so each one of these is worth 1/3. So 1, 2, so there's my whole, my 2 that I'm dividing it by, and each one is worth 1/3. Okay, so if I use the algorithm and I use my keep, change, flip, I keep the 2/3 because that's what I had in originally. I had 2/3, and I'm going to divide, we're going to change in a multiplication and take the reciprocal of the divisor. And since I have 2 wholes, that becomes 2 over 1 or 1/2. And then we multiply straight across. 2 times 1 is 2, and 3 times 2 is 6. And when we put that into lowest terms or simplify it, that becomes 1/3, which is what each of my 2 bunny hops equaled. 1/3 and 1/3 equals 2/3. Okay? All right, example number 3. This is a word problem. You'll be seeing these quite often in 6th grade math and 7th grade math. And it says a garden must have 3/4 square yards, and that would probably be in order to make sure your plants have enough space to grow. And if you only have a length of 2 yards, you need to figure out how wide your garden needs to be. So here I have a rectangle, and I showed that 3/4 is my area. So that's why that is on the inside. 2 yards is my length, and I need to figure out how wide I need to make my garden in order to make all my plants grow appropriately. So when I find area, we know area is length times width. Okay, and in order to find one of these two, I'm going to do what our fact family tells us to do, and I can rearrange these to a division problem. So my area divided by my length or my width. So in this case, it's my length, will give me my width. So my area is 3/4. I'm going to divide it by 2 again. And I keep change flip. So that becomes 3/4. Draw my arrow. 3/4 times 1/2, because remember this is 2/1 with the 1 isn't drawn. So when I take the reciprocal, it becomes 1/2. And then I multiply straight across. So 3 times 1 is 3, and 4 times 2 is 8. So I need 3/8 of a yard wide in order for my garden and all my plants to live a happy and healthy life. And that is how you divide fractions and whole numbers.